All right, joining us this morning is Attorney Mae Divinagracia, the lawyer of the late former Public Works Undersecretary Cathy Cabral. Good morning to you, Attorney Divinagracia.
Yes, good morning, Karen, and good morning to all your viewers. And we thank you for giving us this opportunity to air Ms. Cabral's side and to correct the falsehoods being peddled against her.
Okay, so this is the first time that the camp of the late Undersecretary Cabral will be speaking. Let's start first with the allegations that Congressman Leviste forcibly took documents from Cabral's office. You saw the report, she sustained a paper cut. Number one, did you know about that at all?
Unfortunately, Karen, that was not among the topics that were discussed during the interview with the Office of the Ombudsman because our office was engaged late in the day and we only stepped in after she appeared before the ICI. So I'm limited to the matters she's already disclosed publicly. Those are the only matters that I can talk about. Again, as I've explained, the manner, the documents that Congressman Leviste claims to have obtained from Ms. Cabral's office, it was not discussed.
Okay. Now, did Undersecretary Cabral turn over documents to you, for example? Okay.
She showed us 6 boxes of documents. The undertaking was for her to arrange those documents and to give it to us after she's arranged them. I've seen the documents, I've gone over some of them, I've perused through those documents, and I've seen a document that's ostensibly similar to the document that was released by Congressman Leviste, but I cannot say with absolute certainty that it's the same because I have not seen the entire document that Congressman Leviste claims to possess.
Okay, so it is possible because in the report, Congressman Leviste was supposedly reprinting documents. The original documents were surrendered to you by Undersecretary Cabral, and what he has could be reprinted if it's the same one.
Sorry, I'm not sure if it's the same document. During the interview with the Office of the Ombudsman, she confirmed that Congressman Leviste obtained documents from her office, but for prudence sake, she could not authenticate the document until she is presented with the actual document that is with Congressman Leviste. That's what she explained.
Now, what about your documents? I mean, what are the span of these documents? 6 boxes would cover how many years?
Some of those would relate to the preparation of the annual budget proposal of the DPWH spanning the years 2023 to 2025, if I recall correctly.
So 2 years.
But some of those documents are not really related to the annual budget. So that's why we asked Ms. Cabral to sift through those documents and to just give us the relevant files.
So itong 6 boxes na to of 2023 to 2025, would you say, Attorney Divinagracia, they are insertions in the NEP? They're projects requested by congressmen? Nandun ba yun sa dokumento?
Okay, let me just clarify, Karen. The term insertion is not applicable to the budget proposals. The insertions are properly used for the additions that were made after the NEP was submitted to the Congress. Sorry, your question was...
So, kumbaga, ang laman ng mga dokumentong yun, ano po yun ba? May mga insertion requests, pangalan ng congressman, anong nandun?
Merong mga requests, merong mga notes from the secretary, meron some bore the names of proponents, some parang tabular list of projects, some with names of proponents, some without.
Okay, so the boxes surrendered to you, would you consider them a smoking gun?
Sorry, let me clarify. The boxes have not yet been surrendered to us.
Nasaan siya?
Yun ang hindi namin alam, Karen, because before she passed on, she was supposed to give it to us. We didn't know that
You're serious? Okay.
This is how things will pan.
You mean to say those 6 boxes of documents are missing?
I'm not sure. Well, we don't have it in our possession. The family don't know where they are. So we don't know where it's stashed at the moment. We are trying to figure out where Ms. Cabral.
But was it in the office or did she take it out of the office?
She took it out.
So, could it be in their home? What did the family say?
It's not in their. Well, the last we spoke, it's the last they looked for it in their house. It's not there.
Now, this is quite alarming, I would have to say, because Congressman Leviste came out of the office, but he didn't have a lot of documents. Essentially, he was holding a few files, right, based on the CCTV footage. But 6 boxes could be a game changer in the investigation.
Yes, Karen, but again, let me clarify, the documents in those 6 boxes were not all related to the annual budget of the DPWH. Some of those contain printed presentations, PowerPoint presentations. That's why we requested Ms. Cabral to sift through those documents and to just give us the relevant files.
Okay. Now, let's talk about Undersecretary Cabral, no, because in a way, other than being your client, you saw her through her toughest periods. And I wanted to ask you, are you and the family absolutely convinced that she committed suicide?
Well, we've ruled out the possibility of foul play. We cannot say with certainty that it was suicide, but it was a possibility that that we've
but no
considered.
foul play.
No foul play.
Okay. Now, why is even the family convinced at this point, or you, that suicide is the biggest possibility or probability here? Was she suffering depression?
There was no clinical diagnosis because Ms. Cabral refused to seek professional help despite our advice. Ayaw niya kasi na it be put on record that she's suffering from a mental illness. So there's no clinical diagnosis. But layman's perspective, we've observed how she spiraled into depression. Why do I say this? Every time we would meet in our office, even after our meeting, she would request to just stay in our office. So we would let her stay in a vacant room in our office. We would give her food. Sometimes she would just eat very little. May times she would call me 3 hours in the morning just to discuss matters that we've already discussed and which I've already explained to her. And there was already a previous attempt to harm herself.
Let's talk about that. Only if the family is allowing you to speak about this publicly on national television. So my sources tell me that this was not the first attempt.
Yes.
But the first attempt for her to hurt herself also began during the hearings, apparently. Tama ba?
Yes. I think this was on or about the hearing, or sometime or just days after the hearing, where former Undersecretary Bernardo implicated her.
Okay, so nagsasalita si Bernardo sa hearing. My source told me this too, and that was her first attempt. I mean, Bernardo and Cabral knew each other, obviously.
Yes.
Right? So what was Bernardo saying that would trigger Cabral to hurt herself that first attempt?
I think, Karen, that was just the tipping point. But what really started it was when she was summarily dismissed, although under the guise of a courtesy resignation. When she was summarily dismissed from the DPWH after
by Secretary Vince Dizon.
Yes,
okay.
After 40 years of service. And when she was denied her retirement pay, and she felt that she was being used as a scapegoat for the men or the individuals who are really culpable or responsible for this flood control mess.
Okay, so first I want to ask you, did she try to retire from the DPWH before being dismissed?
No, she was asked to tender her courtesy resignation. At least that was what she relayed to us.
Okay, so she didn't try to retire and the secretary turned it down. Walang ganon.
Wala.
Okay. Number 2, when Bernardo was speaking in the hearings, did she think he was lying? What did she?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, she told you that?
Yes.
Okay. And that first attempt, only if you're allowed to speak about it, what did she try to do then?
The first, it was through a knife. She tried to hurt herself with a knife, but the daughter was able to seize the knife from her.
Okay.
And then she jumped off stairs yata, parang
Stairs
ganon.
in their home?
In their, yes.
Oh,
In their
wow.
house.
Okay, and the family, so the daughter is allowing you to share
Yes.
this,
Yes.
and did they bring her to a hospital?
Yes.
Okay.
I forget lang the hospital, Karen, but she was brought to a hospital.
All right, and after she was brought to a hospital, did she attend the hearings after?
She attended she attended the interview before the office of the ombudsman.
Okay.
She was willing to attend the ICI hearing, but she did not receive the notice.
Oo.
She only learned about it after, when there were already news reports circulating that she deliberately skipped the hearing.
All right. Now, I mean, considering what she went through, I mean, trying to hurt herself using a sharp object, trying to jump off the stairs, and these were when the hearings were ongoing. One would think at that point the family would take her to a doctor, and the doctor would write to the Senate to say, look, she is unfit, right? She is mentally unfit at this point. Ikwento mo, attorney, you were already there. Bakit nagtuloy-tuloy?
Because she wanted to air her side.
Okay.
And she didn't want to do it before the court of public opinion. She wanted to do it before the proper fora. So that's why she was willing to attend all hearings she was invited in.
Okay, did she write to the senators, for example, when her name would be mentioned, did she write to specific senators to air her side?
After
You can drink water, if you
sorry,
want to. Yeah.
After the first attempt, you mean, or
Yes,
prior?
absolutely.
After the first attempt, when she learned that there was a hearing where she was supposedly subpoenaed, we wrote to the ICI to inform the ICI that the reason she was not able to attend was that she did not receive the notice.
Okay.
And we reiterated her
Kumbaga, hindi siya
commitment.
nagtatago.
Oo, hindi siya nagtatago, Karen. And we received report that the subpoena was sent to her office at the DPWH despite her resignation. It's public knowledge that she already resigned.
Okay. Oo. So, number two, she attended the ICI hearings.
Prior to our engagement, that was in, I think, September 24, thereabouts.
Okay, and after your engagement, she did not attend anymore. Tapos
She
na.
wasn't able, yun yung sinasabi ko na hearing. That was the only time kasi na she was subpoenaed, but she did not receive the subpoena.
She did not receive it. Was she able to answer all the questions in the ICI? Because there were insinuations before that she did not answer some of the questions.
I was going over the TSN for that hearing where she attended, but based on my observation, she attempted to answer, but there were times when she would be cut, and there were questions that she had no personal knowledge of the questions being asked of her.
Okay.
For example, she was being asked to explain the insertions in the GAA. Of course, she wouldn't know how the insertions came about because she had no participation during the bicameral conference.
Oo. So, yun yung mga hindi niya nasagot.
Yes, that's probably, yan siguro yung sinasabi nila na hindi niya sinagot or hindi niya nasagot.
Kasi wala siya doon.
Oo.
Now, let's talk about the attempt now that unfortunately this is where we are, is that one in Baguio, right? So you talked about when the depression started, you saw the spiral coming from Bernardo's testimony because she hurt herself then. Yung sa Baguio, we know the details, the driver took a selfie. Ano pa ba ang hindi alam ng publiko that would solidify the fact that it was clearly an attempt
Okay.
Kasi you ruled out foul play.
Yeah.
Is it possible na dulas siya? May nagtanong nun.
Based, yung why we ruled out
Accident as well.
sorry, we're not ruling out accident pala. But
Okay.
before kasi after the incident, we spoke with the driver and he disclosed to us that before that final destination, si Ms. Cabral considered two other destinations. So they stopped at two other destinations pa prior along Cannon Road. So she was checking daw the height and the depth of the ravine. I'm not sure, but dumaga lang sila doon sa third destination.
So, kumbaga may dalawa pa silang chinek?
Chinek, yes.
Alright. And were other things found in her personal belongings, for example?
Say goodbye to your reading glasses, computer glasses, and even your